Here are given some vital truths and guidelines on sexual education, exposing the serpent's bitter oppression and plundering, and unveiling God's good plan. Although the first part of this message might bore some, nevertheless, it shares vital truths. Note, at 1 minute and 30 seconds, bitter sexual oppression and issues begin to be pointed out that are shocking and provoking, and far from being boring. And yes, also vital. Do not awaken children sexually before they naturally somehow awaken. Then teach them sexual relations are only to be in a committed relationship which provides a vital foundation for secure partners and children, and a loving lifelong bond. Teach, and show them that loose and casual sex, without and before marriage, lays the foundation for frustrated and insecure partners, and scattered children, which bitterly breaks hearts and lives, and even extended family connections, and certainly is not God's ideal plan. Broken hearts, scattered partners and children, with no secure family, or place to go, creates almost a hell on earth for far too many. God certainly wants to prevent such difficulty, and therewith wants both children and adults to realize that His laws are not intended to crush or oppress, but to bless and protect. Being the reason the Bible often speaks of His laws being good and sweet, and the perfect law of liberty. Teach that moderation and self-control, rather than excess and drunkenness, are most vital on this subject as well as others. Teach that although God certainly has healthy restraints about sexuality, that God absolutely does not defraud and crush beauty and orgasms, sexual relief and blessing, as bitter branches relating to the doctrine of devils have done. Devils not only disallowed marriage, but related dark and thorny branches swiftly crept much further. Under their dark shadows, popular teachers of the past actually taught that sex for any reason other than honest childbearing efforts is very damaging to man's physical health, and immoral, thus largely crushing sex, even in marriage. Further, they claimed solo orgasms to be especially heinous and deadly, causing weakness, blindness, sickness, and even death. All this possibly worrying many into panic and sickness. Further, many overreacted to such teachings, and cast out all religion and law, and even healthy laws. The forces that forbade marriage, and shattered sexuality therein, brought great darkness and oppression upon our world, and upon all sexual matters, and reaching into modern times. But thank God, He withholds no good thing, and hates lies and oppression, and certainly cares about the married, as well as those who are not. The Bible not only commands freedom for love and sex in marriage, but also speaks of giving more honor to our uncomely parts, so there is no schism in the body. 1 Corinthians 12:23-25. And further says, we should not give heed to the ordinances, doctrines, and commandments of men, which say touch not, taste not, handle not, and which neglect the body, not giving any or proper honor to the satisfying of the flesh. Colossians 2:20-23. Religions have pitifully overlooked these liberating Bible verses, and many more. Actually, crushing heathen traditions, which veiled women's faces and crushed sexuality, were already prevalent in Apostle Paul's time, and which Paul with good reason spoke against. Apostle Paul advocated woman was made for and the glory of man, and according to the original Greek, declared her long hair a vital and needed glory, and given instead of a veil. Yes, declaring that women should have liberty about their heads, because or with the angels. Oppositely, the Vestal virgins of ancient Rome were bitterly veiled and buried alive if they lost their virginity. It is lamentable that many zealously shun beauty and all sexual relief and blessing, thinking to thereby please their God, while they actually are being misled and defrauded by ancient heathen traditions and bitter branches relating to the doctrines of devils which disallowed marriage. Prophet Amos spoke of future dark times, when the word of God would be so lost it could scarcely be found. Yes, spoke of a bitter famine of God's good truth, which particularly caused the young men and fair virgins to faint for thirst, and which strikingly corresponds to the bitter branches, oppressing beauty and sexuality spoken of here. Yes, a subject where God's good truth got very lost. Apostle Paul did not without reason speak of our uncomely parts having more abundant comeliness, and giving more honor to them, so there is no schism in the body. Nor did he without reason teach that we should not give heed to men's doctrines which say, touch not, handle not, taste not, therewith not giving any honor to the satisfying of the flesh. And may the serpent and his bitter lies be fully exposed. Since God certainly wants strong homes, and hates divorce, Jesus thus, with vital reason, taught that we should not look upon, desire, and wish to allure another's partner, as such, is an evil, and intruding lust, and committing adultery in the heart, and which is quite different than with a good and pure heart, admiring and being blessed by God's beautiful feminine creation. Although our God certainly wants strong and secure homes, nevertheless, He wants the splendor of feminine beauty to be a blessing to mankind, rather than just a temptation and curse. Yes, God rather intends spotless beauty and sexuality to richly bless and make homes strong. Why do so many people thoughtlessly call that which God put in the paradise garden and called very good, yes, immaculate and unobstructed feminine beauty, as is honorably described in our Bibles, filth, smut, and porn? For almost 20 years, I have been passionately seeking to expose how the serpent has confused and crushed feminine beauty and sexuality, and God has encouraged my research and spoken on these issues with an abundance of miracles. And it appears, God in 2020, is allowing our world to be shaken, because churches, together with the non-religious, have their minds locked and eyes closed to His miracles, His good plan, and truths. Apostle Paul, together with declaring devils disallowed marriage, and rebuking other religious oppression, actually further taught that those who rebuke such oppression are good ministers of Jesus Christ. And may we seek to be such ministers, seeking the perfect law of liberty, which actually has promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come. Please see www.churchwakeup.com for more.